So I don't think it's ever been more obvious in the history of politics that politicians lie. It's absolutely insane. Okay. Now, I know we all know that the Democrats lie, and we all know that even the Republicans on our side are constantly lying about one thing or another. It's just the nature of politics. Okay. Some of these lies are egregious. Some of these are less egregious, but I think the ones that are so obvious right now, it's just like one of these ones that just these lies that just slap you in the face and make you question whether the person who is lying to you thinks you're just stupid. And I feel like every Democrat who is being spoken to by their side right now, by the Democrats, by these politicians, these Democrat politicians, should ask themselves, do they think you're stupid? Because what we're going through right now is on track to be the longest government shutdown in history. Now, personally, I'm okay with it. Okay, let's go. Let's shut down the government. But with that should come some other things. Let's stop paying the politicians. They shouldn't be getting a paycheck. And I shouldn't be paying taxes. You know, during this government shutdown, when I get my check, the gross amount of what I earned should be what I earned, right? If the government shut down, why are we paying taxes? Why are politicians? Why is my representative and my senators? Why are they still getting paid? So I'm okay with that. Unfortunately, the government is not completely shut down. It's shut down technically, but it's not all shut down. But I digress. The Democrats are not in power right now, obviously. We got the House, we got the Senate, the Republicans do. So we kind of have the upper hand. So what's going on right now is Mike Johnson is trying to pass this clean CR bill, meaning like no changes. We're just kind of kicking the can down the road, which I think is abhorrent, but that's just the way it goes. We did the same thing when the Democrats were in power. But the Democrats, they are refusing to open the government. And the funny thing is, it is so obvious that it's the Democrats doing this, but they go out and go in front of the TV cameras and they blame it on the Republicans. The Republicans simply want to pass this clean CR, which with all of its problems, it's not the Republicans' fault that the government is not being opened. It's the Democrats' fault because they want to make changes. They want to leverage the Republicans into making certain changes to the budget. However, they are going in front of the TV cameras, like I said, and they are blaming the Republicans over and over and over. Chuck Schumer, one of the worst, as he is voting to shut down the government, he is calling Donald Trump a vindictive politician and a heartless man. Listen to this.
A vindictive politician and a heartless man.
Oh, no.
Let's be clear. This does not need to happen. Never before, under any president, Democrat or Republican, has SNAP been cut off in a shutdown. And Trump.
Here, listen to this. They are panicking. They are panicking because SNAP, EBT benefits, these food benefits, they know that this disproportionately affects their constituents, not Republican constituents. Now, I'm not saying that if you are on EBT or SNAP benefits or something like that, you can't be a Republican, but just the nature of kind of the two sides, it's going to disproportionately affect Democrats. And they are panicking because they know that all the Republicans have to do is wait them out. Because once these cancellations, once the money runs out and their constituents start panicking, who are they going to blame? They're not going to be blaming the Republicans. They're going to be blaming their representative. And disproportionately, the ones that use SNAP benefits and EBT are Democrats. So most of them are going to be blaming their Democrat representative, and they know this. Schumer knows this, but he's trying to play this game of chicken with the Republicans right now. And it's really funny how blatant they are, how big of liars they are. It's like the Democrat voters. They don't care about the truth. I think we could all accept a little bit of fudging the facts here and there. But there is something that's especially, what's the word? Especially just insulting about blatant, obvious lies. And that's what they're doing right now.
Trump knows he can do it. Here's what he said. Yeah, everybody is going to be in good shape. Yup. Donald Trump, when asked if he would fund
He's so mad
next month. That's what he said this October.
He's so mad. And the thing is, Donald Trump, he has no problem funding SNAP. It's all the Democrats have to do is vote for a clean CR. Kick the can down the road. I will say this, though. Out of all the lies that the Democrats are telling, how they're going in front of the cameras and pretending it's not them that's holding up this government funding, it's the Republicans. They're masters at this because their side actually believes this. I will say this. I wish the Republicans had half the amount of balls that the Democrats do, because what happened whenever Biden was in office and the Republicans wanted X, Y, and Z from the budget? They wanted their agenda to be passed. They wanted their agenda to be implemented. They would always throw up their hands and make this big show of shutting down the government, and they would always pretend. They'd always warn the Democrats that they're going to shut down the government, and it would come down all the way down to the line, and the Republicans would always back off and never shut down the government, okay? I wish the Republicans had half the backbone that the Democrats have, because it shows. The Democrats, they will go above and beyond for their agenda. The Republicans, they have spines made of jelly. Absolute jelly is absolutely insane. And if they actually could firm up their spines, grow some balls, we might get somewhere. If we had the spine of the Democrats, these evil Democrats, we might could get somewhere as a party. But we don't. And we always learn the hard way. I think it's because the Democrats are the party of corruption, and we have some infiltrators on the Republican side. I think that's generally how, it works. Of course, we have the whole term rhino, so that might be the issue. But it's pretty incredible. We got clip after clip of these Democrats just flipping out on the Republicans. They know their days are numbered. They know that it's their constituents that are going to feel it the most, and their constituents aren't just going to blame Republicans. They're not going to care about this Republican-Democrat fight, the leverage that the Democrats want to have to implement X, Y, or Z, some obscure thing that their constituents are going to feel it on a personal level, because their constituents are going to be able to buy food. They're not going to care about some funding for something that the Democrats are using this as leverage for. They're not going to care. They just want to eat. So they're going to start getting pissed at their representative, their senator, and the Democrats are about to feel it. But these lies are so blatant. It's so crazy.
And this
they're panicking.
Is a choice that you are making to starve American children, elders, seniors, veterans, people with disabilities, because you think that this is a political game, and we are not here to play.
That's the problem. It's not a political game. The Republicans, hey, as much as they play political games, and, it's just how politics is played, this time they're not. They're just wanting a clean CR, just like last time. And I hate continuing resolutions. I think there should be a ton of stuff that is taken out of these budgets. But this time, it's The Republicans just wanted the status quo, and the Democrats wanted to change things. But they are putting on this political theater, pretending like it's actually the Republicans. What's that saying? They cry out as they strike you. That's what's going on here with these Democrats. Even Bernie Sanders, he even joined in on the dog pile, and he accused Donald Trump of trying to manufacture a hunger crisis. Can't make this up.
We are here today to send a very loud and a very clear message to President Trump. Obey the law. I know that's a hard concept for the president, but obey the law. Do what Congress mandated you do. Do not let children in America and their parents and grandchildren go hungry. Do not go down as the first president in history to manufacture a hunger crisis in the richest country on earth. Release these funds. Now, the good news is there are at least 11 Republicans in the Senate who are supporting a bipartisan bill to ensure that no one in America goes without the nutrition assistance they need during the shutdown. And that is very good news. And I thank those 11 Republicans, every Democrat.
So who knows where that bill is going to go. That bill might advance. But the Democrats now have shut down the government. I think voted to shut down the government, 13 times now? And I believe here in like 5 or 6 days, if the government is still shut down, that's going to be a record. So it's pretty insane. But I just think it's really funny how just obvious this political theater is right now when you see these Democrats coming out and just blatantly lying to their constituents. And I really hope that the Republicans don't back down because, like I said, it's a game of chicken. But the problem is it really isn't a game of chicken because the Republicans, they don't really have, I don't believe they have that much to fear with this shutdown. It might affect them a little bit, but it would affect Democrats disproportionately much more. Their constituent base is going to be much more dissatisfied with them than the other way around. But I think the most surprising thing I saw with this government shutdown, it's it's actually bringing out the truth in some people that we might have previously not been able to stand. Some people are actually like some liberals, some Democrats, some people that we might have looked at as liars in the past. And I still look at Jake Tapper in this case as a liar, but even he cannot stomach this lie where Democrats are just blatantly putting on this big show like it's not them who is keeping the government shut down. He had Melanie Stansbury on his show, CNN. This is CNN Jake Tapper. Believe it or not, this is Jake Tapper. And Jake Tapper tells her straight out, this is a choice by Senate Democrats to not vote to open the government. And Melanie says, no, it's not. And Tapper comes back, claps back with the big, yes, it is.
Should
Listen
the
to
Democratic
this.
senators from New Mexico, your home state, vote to open the government so that these SNAP funds are not at risk?
Let me be clear. The administration is choosing to starve American children with money that they already have appropriated.
I'm not applauding
this
their
by
tactics.
The White House.
Well,
this is a choice by the White House.
This is also,
Congresswoman,
this is also a choice by Senate Democrats to not vote to open the government. Yes, it is. I understand why they're doing it. They're doing it because they want Medicaid funds restored. They're doing it because they want Obamacare premiums to be extended past the end of the year. I understand the reason.
Exactly. They're using the shutdown as leverage, which, listen, I respect them for it. Like I said, if the Republicans would be half as ballsy as the Democrats, we would be in a way better place in this country. I think a good example of this is the deportations. I don't think Donald Trump goes far enough with these deportations. I think Donald Trump needs to go farther. You know, they post all of these edits, these clips of them going into Chicago and what other cities deporting or going after these illegal immigrants. And I love it. I love them. However, when you have some of these elected officials that are blatantly subverting Donald Trump, blatantly subverting the federal government, ordering their police force to go against the Department of Homeland Security, that should be dealt a blow. That should be crushed completely and swiftly, in my opinion. They should treat those public officials, they should treat those police officers, they should treat them like the J6 protesters were treated by the Biden FBI. Their doors should be kicked down and they should be arrested. And that stuff would end yesterday if that happened. So you constantly see this trend of the Democrats. They pull out all the stops. They don't pull their punches. And they go after us, our side, constantly. And they do everything they can. They shut down the government almost for a record time now. But however, when you see the Republicans, when they need leverage to do something, they go up to the finish line and they chicken out. They play that game of chicken, and it's always the Republican who chickens out. And it's very unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. So while I hate the political theater that the Democrats are doing, I respect it because I wish our side would actually put in that level of effort that they do for their corrupt side of politics. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. I will see you on the next one.